All right, this is David Brox with Coach Moses Wyatt and the Sumner Academy Sabres. Coach, talk us a little bit about the early season and what you've seen so far.
Well, so far, we're very young. We got a lot of inexperience, but we got a lot of kids that are coachable and really want to be good and want to play good. So we've worked hard in practice to try to up our learning curve and try to get us into a position where we're competing. I think that kind of has to do with a few of our guys who know how to compete at that level. Like I have Theron Sanders, he's a senior. I have Vance Jackson, a junior, and then Sadiq Person, who was a sophomore. And they've really dedicated themselves, especially in the offseason, to getting better and playing a lot of basketball games. That way, when we come in, we have some examples in practice to try to teach us how we compete at a high level.
So, Coach, talk a little bit. This is year two for you over at Sumner. So, talk a little bit about that transition from year one to year two for your program.
Well, it was almost the same, meaning the fact that we lost several guys from our program this year, and so we kind of was starting over, trying to find a new identity. That was what the issue was last year. We were really trying to find our identity. It took us a while to find it, then we kind of found it and started competing a little different. And then after a few guys who left the program, we searching to find our identity again. And so that's kind of the difference. But we were able to put in a lot of work this summer, play together. So we kind of knew what we had, the adversities and things that we had to overcome. But I think the difference is I'm really more excited this year about the challenges and the possibilities that we have because we have a core group of guys that have a great attitude and are really willing to work hard and get better.
So, Vance, you've had a unique perspective early on. You've been out the first few games. Talk a little bit about what you've seen so far from your teammates and how you think you're going to be able to fit in and kind of help out.
Um, like Coach Mo said, we're pretty young, so we gotta, learn some new things. With me, I'm a junior, so I have 2 years of experience already, and I'm starting up to be a leader on the team. So what all I try to do is I try to, help them out whenever they need me to do what I need to do, so we can get a win and we can have a successful season.
Mr. Sanders, talk a little bit. What's your first name again? Sorry.
Theron.
Cloran, talk a little bit about, Coach mentioned the summer. You guys playing a lot of ball together. So talk about the summer and I guess what that experience did for you guys that you tried to bond and get ready for this upcoming season.
I believe this summer it was very good because us three we all on AAU team, so we played a lot of basketball and got a lot of reps. So what we did from the AAU season, we correlated that with our school ball like the summer league, and make sure the younger players, because we have a lot of sophomores and a couple freshmen, so we just try to get them to get the fast-paced level of what varsity basketball is about, and just teach them things that we learned from past experiences.
So, Sadiq, you got off to a good start this week. Talk a little bit about your summer, what some of the AAU games and stuff that you played in, and kind of how you've transitioned over to a quick start this early season.
This summer was a great experience for me. I traveled to almost any place you can name playing basketball, and I played with a really good AAU club, and we played against the best competition. I think that's why my game has carried over into the high school game at such a high level because all that games I've been playing. And this year, we're off to a rough start, but we are a really good team, and we're going to persevere through it, and we're just going to keep playing and do what we do.
Coach, one thing I guess we kind of like about basketball media day compared to football is typically during basketball you got a couple games in your belt. For football, we're still in preseason, so having a couple of games under your belt, tell us, what have you been impressed with, and what are some things right away we need to get back in the gym and work on?
Well, our inexperience is really the things that we got to get back in the gym. We got to get more game experience and understanding. The things I've been impressed with is the attitude. You can lose a game or two and lose kids for the season, they're down, but we haven't done that. We kind of really been up, and everybody understands the challenge that we're under. And it's more about us than it is about the other team. It's more about us coming together, what we do good, what we work on, and how we develop as a team. And so that's the thing I'm really the most impressed about, is the fact that the attitude's been up, morale is up. And I haven't had to do a lot of that. That's been from these leaders that we have and the other guys kind of understanding where we are in basketball and in our season and what we have to work on. The one thing I was the most impressed about we went to a tournament this past week. We ended up losing all 3 games. But the one thing that I was really the most impressed about is that each game we improved on some things that we talked about. We improved our length of our good play. And so those are things you got to really just take the positives out of, especially with a young team, is what is positive. But we have improved each game. We've gotten better at something each game, and we've improved the length of our good play.
Talk a little bit about some of the other guards you got, DeCarlo and is Dion?
Yeah, Deion McClain, DeCarlo Jackson. They played summer basketball as well with AAU organizations, so they got a chance to get some games under their belt. That's a unique. They both kind of have some unique skill sets. Deion is. I don't want to say this in a bad way, but Deion is more of a game player. You know, in practice, I'm on him all the time about certain things, but then we get in the game and he makes a play, or he does something that we need, and he has that ability. DeCarlo Jackson is really resilient. I mean, he plays hard all the time. We know what we're gonna get from DeCarlo every night. He just needs to experience both of them at playing at a high level and keeping it up. We've because of some injuries, we've had A.J. Watson, a freshman. He got a chance to get a lot of experience, which I think will help us down the road. In a situation, he got a chance to get a lot of experience. He got a chance to make some mistakes and see what his mistakes is. You know, in basketball or any sport, experience being in there, doing it or messing up or doing good, that gives you what you need to be successful. So those are some of our other guards that did it. I think another key role is we got Dante Bilberry out this year. That helped us. He's a senior. And he's kind of helps us in the post a little bit. He's got good skill, good mobility, long arms. So that kind of helps us out a little bit as he kind of learns. He didn't come out last year, but he came out this year. So those are some of the other guys that really kind of round us out, and we just got to really just find our chemistry in jail.
So how much do you talk about it? I mean, you don't want to go too deep into Derek and Jalen leaving, but I mean, did you just let that go immediately, and immediately turn to other players to find leadership within the team, or?
Well, to be honest, I think we all were kind of a little shocked, you know, and it hit us for a minute, but we all realized that they didn't make the team. They were just parts of the team. And we have some people we really do that I believe in that have stepped up last year and that have been stepping up this year. So we have the pieces for us to be a good team. And so we didn't really dwell on that really long. I was really looking forward to the guys that was coming back anyway, because we kind of knew that right at the end of last year, the school year. So I wouldn't say we dwelled on it too long, a little disappointed, but we were really just looking forward to what we could do as the unit that we have.
So this is to any of the players to answer this one, but, you know, losing a couple of guys or key players last year, what do you guys – I guess from a player perspective, thinking about the need to step up? What was the conversation you guys started having as a team, you know, taking up the leadership roles as well as just saying, I need to be the next guy up? You know, what do you guys think about? What's your thoughts on that?
Since we lost those key players, I believe that we'll, no disrespect towards them, we'll be better because, I mean, we got to deal with the group that we have, so we're going to build from that, what we have on. We can't deal with what's in the past. We got to look for the present and the future. So I believe the guys that we had this year, we had a rough start, but we'll get it together by the time league comes around January, February, and even trying to make a trip to Salina if we do what the things we need to do to be successful.
This year's group of guys, we're different than last year. Last year we had a lot of individuals, and people want to get theirs and all, like, they didn't buy into team concept. This group of people we have we're together, and that's why we're going to be more successful than last year. And Vance, he is our point guard of the team. He's basically our captain, basically, and he sets the mood, standard, and everything for our team. And Deron, he's like, how do I say this? He leads by example. very much so. He does that. In practice, he's always on people. He tells people when to get going, and he sets the energy for us as a team. And me, I bring a lot of experience to the plate, and I feed off what I know and what like my abilities to them, and I help them to get better. So this year is really going to be better for us as a whole.
You still trying to figure out what you're going to do style-wise, and are you going to be an up-and-down team? You guys really were going, with Wyandotte specifically, I mean, it was a track meet both ways. How much of an adjustment do you think you'll make going into the break here and coming out of the in-league play?
Well, honestly, that's where the youth come in, because that wasn't our game plan.
Right.
And when we ran our game plan, we had a 23-1, run. When we executed our game plan. Our game plan is not an up and down. We're not a run and gun type of team. We are if we have it, we take it. But if not, we got to play smart. And we execute, be organized, and be disciplined. That's our game style. But the Wyandotte game was just really just showed our inexperience, our youth, not understanding how to control the tempo of the game, young guards. But I think a lot of that is fixed when we get Vance back with his maturity and his experience. I mean, that gives us someone, a captain, a general on the floor that knows how to drive the car the way we want it to be driven.
So, Vance, talk a little bit about some of the goals that this team yourself.
Honestly, I'm gonna be straight up. I'm looking to win league. Like everything I do is to win league. And last week, we trying to take a trip to Salina. So in practice, I push them as hard as I can, even though I can't play and stuff. I push them as hard as I can. I know some of them, they might feel sick a day. They might not feel like they want to play, but I try to push them, get them going, and I try to help them out. Like the stuff I already know, I try to tell them, to get going and do the stuff that they can do.
So that's a good point. You mentioned that, you're not able to play right now, but being a point guard, being a leader, and being on the side, that experience sitting there watching those guys play out there, I guess what is your role then, kind of when you're on the side of watching? You're giving a lot of input to the guards that are out there and the team as itself, having, been that extra set of eyes that's on the sideline.
From being out, I know a lot of the players, like during the games, they usually come over to me, once they come off the court or whenever, they need some help. And they like, how I do this, how I do that. And if I know the answer, I tell them, or I tell them best what I would do. So I'm trying to I'm really, in the recovery stuff, I'm trying to get back really fast and I'm trying to help the team. But right now, all I can do is, guide them through to success.
Any final words, Coach? Let's get this student section going, huh?
Yeah, that's our final words. We're looking for our student section to come out.
I will say this, as a final word, I guess, from you. One thing I noticed the last year, you're really trying to do a big thing with trying to bridge the history with the current. Talk a little bit about that real quick.
Well, that's the shirts that they're wearing today. I just really believe to know where you're going, you have to know where you come from. There's a rich history with Sumner High School, the Spartans, how it started. And a lot of our guys don't really understand where it came from. And so we have kind of a little saying that it's not about us. We play not for us, but for those who come before and after us. And so to be able to do that, we have to know that history. That history can help us infuse our tradition that we're trying to start with today. And so I've been trying to bring back, we've had several of the Spartan alumni come back, speak to us at practice. They're around our games. A few of them are mentors of some of our other guys. We have a game every year. This year will be on Friday, January the 15th, where it's alumni night with the Spartans. Just trying to get that history back. And it's not just about basketball. It's about the education, the pride. If you know anything about Sumner Spartans, they are very proud to call themselves Sumner Spartans. And so that's kind of one of the things that we want. I believe that if we have that pride in our school and what's across our chest on our jerseys, uniforms, that makes us even that more together as a team and play even better.
All right, Coach. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Good luck the rest of the way.